The next technique we're going to cover is being pinned against the wall, and this can happen in a couple of flavors, front, side, back. We want to cover all of those, but also understand that in real life, you're not going to hit perfect cardinal position. It's not going to be a perfect, or a perfect, or a perfect, right? It's going to happen at random. Now, again, we said earlier, there's always a push factor and a pull factor in a fight. And if your training doesn't involve pushing and pulling, hitting on the move, that kind of stuff, it goes into my not realistic box, right? So everything is done in a good distance and nobody's moving or pushing or pulling or resisting. It doesn't really seem effective to me because that's how real life fights happen. And I've seen lots of very good martial artists get messed up by a guy just like pushing forward. We're gonna do this a couple of ways. So number one is we're gonna cover this double-headed choke. This doesn't happen very often to men, but it's much more common for it to happen to women. Most people that attack women are larger than the girl they're attacking. And so this is a strength or dominance-based move, hoping that in a predatory sense that I'm just going to do what they say, become an easier, more compliant target. If you have the ability to go do damage to somebody, please do that damage and make yourself as hard of a target as possible, because then they will, unfortunately, it doesn't make everybody safer, it just makes you safer. It's a micro fix, not a macro fix. But if they're gonna attack somebody, I just hope it's not you, right? So from here, the first thing I need to do to make sure is that entry comes in and that my chin gets tucked as deep as possible, because the goal mostly of this is for my head to be drilled into the wall, which is going to stun me and freak me out. So that entry we did, as soon as I'm grabbed, that boom, getting my back here will protect my head, and getting my hands out will make a difference. Now, in this situation, I'm taller than the opponent, very unlikely. So I can easily fully extend him. But the goal of this type of choke is they want to have their arms as tight as possible so the person's actually choking. So if he chokes me, I'm in trouble. Go ahead. As I push back though, I clearly get my voice back, because the more straight his arms become, the weaker this choke becomes. And why this is important is that this system has to work for small people and tall people. So when you're smaller, even if you can't get them fully extended, any stoppage of this full bend is better. And if his head is here, I don't care how short your arms are, you can extend them back even a little bit to get yourself in a better position. Okay? From here, what I'm going to do is get this out. I'm going to take one of my hands, whatever hand is not touching the face. And ideally, if I can get them not looking at me, this becomes much better. But it's still just an entry impact. I'm going to enter, boom. I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to slide it back, and I'm going to hammer on the wrist. Just like we attack with the double wrist grab, I want to make sure that I'm making the wrist flex, because he's got big arms, this elbow is not going to bend. But a wrist, the fingers will give much easier. Now the last thing we're going to get you to do is move off to the side, because if I'm here and I just stay here, it's just going to happen again and again, right? So I need to make sure I get my hips facing them, their hips facing away from me, and I can do damage and or I can escape. All right, so we're going to do it with Sarah now. He's going to come from the front. Choke, boom, one, remove it, and she's gonna hit because her instinct is to hit. Okay, we're gonna go again. Hit, rip, good. Beautiful. Like we said here, the techniques that we're showing are gonna be very perfect-esque. They're gonna be very cardinal points, like straight, north, south, east, west. This won't happen in real life, but any variation of this is going to happen. Now, for us, I really love our counter ambush. There's lots of counter ambushes out there, but our entry is really important because it also works as a break fall against this. Now, there's 4 factors in every fight. There's you, there's them, there's the environment, and there's luck. This is the environment. So anytime we're just using unlimited open space, it again makes it a little bit unrealistic. So if he's going to grab me, again, he's going to push me or pull me, we're going to work on a push factor, but he's going to push me, and ideally, if he hits me here, I become much more compliant because I can't make the best choices with a brain injury. So as this happens, I'm still going to throw my hands forward, and I'm going to protect myself by hitting my head against my own arm. So this becomes effectively a break fall. Even if this hand can't shoot out because he has a really tight elbow grip, I'm still in a better position than I was because I'm not being hit against this. Now, as I'm doing this, if I can ideally step as well, I then get off that straight bench press line that we've talked about, right? So again, I don't want to be in between his shoulders. So as we're here, one, I'm going to step to the side. If I get here and I don't have that ability, all I'm going to do is lean my weight a little bit forward just to slightly get off that shoulder line. I'm gonna take my hands close to me, and I'm just gonna wrap the back of my neck. Then I'm gonna rotate towards the side I've wrapped, get to the side, and I can throw him into the wall, impact, or escape. Same thing if it goes the other way. I'm here, one, bang, I'm gonna get it, should rotate, and then I can make him hit the wall, and I can hit all those really vulnerable human targets. So bang, one, yep. Nice.
Sorry.
That's okay. I wouldn't trust me either.
Perfect. Last but not least, we have from the back. This is the weird disconnect people have with self-defense. Most people think this is the most uncommon attack, but this seems to become the most common attack, especially trying to do damage, right? If I tap you behind, you can't see me, there's no peripheral vision warning, you're gonna smash me into something, okay? So for us, we talked about in the first video, keeping your hands up for a barrier. I like to have my hands up even if the barrier, even if the thing that's threatening me is inanimate. So I'm in an elevator, I have my hands up. When I'm looking at a menu on a window, I have my hands up. When I'm, as a guy at a urinal, my hands are up. I want to make sure that people behind me, if something does happen, my hands are going to engage so I don't hit my head. And I have a story I won't tell on this about somebody, this happened to in a bathroom. It wasn't great for that person.
Horrible things happen.
Horrible things happen because their hands were up. So from here, same thing. He's going to grab, he's going to throw me forward. I'm going to stop this with my hand hitting here. So even if I don't get a perfect entry and he's strong enough to collapse me, I'm still good to go because I have my hands in the way. It doesn't matter which hand I use, but it's better to go to the leg that's back. I'm going to take that hand, I'm going to cover, and I'm going to explain when we cover in a little bit. In this cover position, I'm just going to turn. Nothing changes, the dynamics stay the same, and then I can impact or I can escape. So one more time, other way. He comes at me, one, boom, I stop that. I'm going to cover the back of my dome, I'm going to rotate, and then I can get to the position that I need to be in. Beautiful. Nice. That's good.